Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful brick pattern. I used a medium 4-weight yarn and a size H or 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need 2 colors of yarn of your choice. I used a variegated yarn, which gives this a beautiful mosaic look. This is a fun pattern using a stitch that I don't use very often. So grab your supplies and let's have some fun crocheting, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Start the pattern with a chain in any multiple of 6 to the width that you want. I chained 18 for this tutorial. It's helpful if you chain loosely because we are going to be working into the back bumps. Turn your chain so that you're looking at the back side. You can clearly see the back bumps. We'll start by working in the second bump. We're going to do a yarn over slip stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull it through the first 2 loops on your hook. It's similar to the half double crochet stitch, but we don't do the third yarn over. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then pull that last loop through the first 2. It's easier to pull your hook through if you hold on to the first 2 loops like you see me doing here with my thumb. You'll continue doing the yarn over slip stitch into every back bump of the chain. One of the great things about this pattern is that there aren't a lot of yarn tails that need to be sewn in. We're going to carry each new color up the side of the work. We'll change colors for row 2. Pause the video and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm at the last stitch of the row. Start the yarn over slip stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump, and then drop your first color. Lay the second color over your crochet hook and pull that through all 3 loops on your hook. That completes row 1. Chain 1 and turn your work. From this point on, we'll be changing colors every 2 rows. The rest of our yarn over slip stitches will be crocheted in the back loop only. We'll continue doing a yarn over slip stitch in every stitch of this row. Hide the beginning yarn tails by including them in your stitch. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn your work. Continue row 3 by doing a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch of the row. In the last stitch of row 3, you'll drop the second color and pick up the first color. Pause the video and I'll meet you at the beginning of row 4. After changing colors in row 3, you chain 1 and turn your work. Make sure that you're working in the back loop only of each stitch. These are the front loops. It's easier to see the back loop if you tilt the work toward you. These are the 2 top loops, and this is the back loop that we stitch into. Continue with your first color by doing a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the first 5 stitches. On the 5th stitch, we'll be doing a drop double crochet stitch into the top front loop of the next stitch from round 1. Here's our next stitch that we would normally work into. Follow that down to the same position in row 1. Because we're working in the back loop only, you'll just see the front loop that we stitch into. Yarn over and insert your hook into the front loop. Yarn over and pull up a loop and pull it up tall to the height of the stitches of your current row. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is what creates our brick pattern. Skip the stitch directly behind the double crochet just completed. We'll work into the next stitch. We'll work a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. In the 6th stitch, we'll do another drop double crochet into round 1. It's also a good idea to count the stitches from round 1. Make sure that you're working into the 6th stitch from the last double crochet stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into that front loop from round 1, yarn over and pull up a loop up to the height of the stitches in your current row, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll continue the sequence to the end of your row. Yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches, and in the 6th stitch, you'll do a drop double crochet into round 1. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn your work. We'll continue round 5 by doing a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch of this row. Pause the video and I'll meet you at the end of row 5. I'm at the last stitch of row 5, so I start the stitch by doing a yarn over, inserting your hook into the next stitch, drop the first color and pick up the second color, and complete the stitch by doing a yarn over and pulling through all 3 loops on the hook. Chain 1 and turn your work. Continue doing a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch of rows 6 and 7. Pause the video and I'll meet you at the end of row 7. I'm at the last stitch of row 7, so I start the stitch with the yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, drop the second color and pick up the first color, and complete the stitch by pulling it through all 3 loops on the hook. Chain 1 and turn your work. We start row 8 by doing a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the first 2 stitches. In the third stitch, we'll do a drop double crochet stitch into the front loop only of the stitch in the same position in row 5. Yarn over, insert your hook into that front loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop up to the height of the stitches in your current row, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Skip the stitch directly behind the double crochet and work a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. In the next stitch, we'll do a drop double crochet in the front loop only of that stitch from round 5. Remember, it's a good idea to count the stitches. Yarn over, insert your hook into that front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop to the height of the stitches in your current row, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat this pattern to the end of your row by doing a yarn over slip stitch in the next 5 stitches, followed by a drop double crochet into the front loop only of the coordinating stitch from round 5. At the end of this row, you should have 2 yarn over slip stitches after your last double crochet stitch, which matches the start of our row where we started with 2 yarn over slip stitches followed by a double crochet drop stitch. At the end of this row, chain 1 and turn your work. Complete row 9 by doing a yarn over slip stitch in each stitch of the row. Repeat rows 2 through 9 until you reach the height that you want for your project. You can give the sides of your project a nice finish edge to match the top and bottom by doing 2 rows of yarn over slip stitch on each side. For my project, I chose to do 1 row of the yarn over slip stitch on each side. Here's a look at my completed project. I love the bright colors, giving this a beautiful mosaic look, and I like the sides with just 1 row of the yarn over slip stitch. The back is a nice striped pattern without the brick segments. I hope you enjoyed this project. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to my channel.